I'll make sure this is charging. All right. In five, four, three,
Oh,
two. Oh, okay. And now you are. That's what was that MTV show making the video? I don't know. Did you ever watch that at all?
yep.
That was it. Like they would do the whole video, would show like Missy Elliott in the background, getting ready to make the video and all that, and then like the end of the episode would show the video, and before that, they always
Yep.
had a clip of like, and now five, four, three, two, and then it was so hype. Property Ebonics. Um, the people want to know, and I include myself in with the people in this one. Why are you in a car on this cold day?
Because remember I texted you last night and
I
I
do.
was and you text me like 2:30 in the morning and I normally sleep at that time, but you got me. You caught me. My girl was having a belated birthday party and we were turning up and we ended up at a bar and I overslept, so I didn't get to my destination this morning in time
Mm,
to record. So I already figured I was like I could stay where I'm at and record, but then miss a lot of the Eagles game.
okay.
Or or I could just drive and then pull over and record whenever, wherever, and then I could catch the Eagles game. So I was like, this works perfectly.
Where are you parked at right now? Are you in Jersey or?
Hilarious. I'm in Jersey. I'm next to a Hula Hands in a old Sears that went out of business, and the A in the sign Sears, there's no A, so it just says Sirs.
That's
Are
scissor.
you Sirs? Yeah, I'm Sirs.
I'm trying to buy a couch. We don't have that here, sirs.
So I took a picture. I had to take a picture. When I saw Sirs, it just reminded me of like how people from down south say serious. So I'm just like, I gotta get this.
That's wild, man. You could record in sirs if it's not preoccupied right now. I don't know if they have air conditioning and all that in terms of heat, but you can go in sirs and get a PE episode that way.
I'm sure if I go into Sirs, I'll probably be going to jail next because I feel like it's like sectioned off like a gate and like signs like no trespassing. So
Would that help our views? Like if you were trying to trespass into a sirs to record an episode and then you were stopped by a security guard, do you think that would help us in any way?
I know for a fact it would. Maybe I should actually. Now that I think about it.
We may get
Yo,
lucky. Maybe they may just come up to your car, be like, "Hey, are you trying? What you? We noticed that you're taking photos of sirs. What are you doing over here?"
like you wouldn't have to be recording proper Ebonics, would you?
That's my 10th favorite podcast.
You remember that one time we were like the 339th top comedy podcast in like Hungary or
Yeah,
something?
I haven't checked the Hungarian numbers, but I'm assuming we went up since then. We may be like in top 200 in Hungary right now.
It was so funny. Like it was just so random. You know what I
Or
mean?
more so on my end in terms of like the racially ambiguous part, but maybe they just see this and it's like maybe they're Hungarian. Maybe that's a
It's the Massenburg. They were like Massenburg. That's native.
yeah, it could have been that, man. Who knows? I'm curious to see what our numbers in Nigeria are. I'm 22% Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian queen.
Nigeria. Can you still see me right now?
I could see.
Okay, because my girlfriend's calling me, and I was like, I'm wondering if my phone is ringing and is blocking the Zoom.
That could also help our views if you integrate phone calls into the episodes. Like if you pick up the line, who knows what sort of details she may reveal.
Let me see if I can.
Oh damn, we're really out here. We're live.
Can you see?
I think your last line was "Can you see?" and then it cut out to not seeing you. Um, but Alan is taking a phone call from his girlfriend. Shout out to her. It was her birthday. Your boy is doing his thing right now, man. I was doing some push-ups earlier. That's become just a normal thing in my life. By the way, my name's Kirk. So, well, I'll tell you about the push-ups later.
I'm sorry,
Alan is
man.
back.
I'm sorry.
You're good. I was telling people about Benghazi, so we're good.
Benghazi, you were doing push-ups in Benghazi?
Oh, you were able to hear the audio. Okay, I was not telling people about Benghazi.
You liar!
I went into a whole 15-minute historical retelling of the instance of Benghazi, and I brought up the emails. I admit it. I brought up the emails. But yeah, shout out to them.
Shout out to Benghazi. All right. I don't know. Should I shout out Benghazi or no?
I didn't get a shout out.
I don't know what's going. I don't even know what's going on. I could be like shouting out like the worst place ever.
It wouldn't be our worst shout out. We've done a lot of those. Producer Pat suggests, who is Ben and Benghazi? That's that's. I think neither of us, all three of us, are like, we're not too sure about Benghazi. So
yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm not gonna say I enjoy being ignorant, but like there are benefits sometimes in not knowing like what's going. Because I know something serious probably going on in Benghazi that probably would make me upset or sad. So sometimes it's kind of I don't know what's going on. Ignorance is bliss.
That's why you got to get your news from Lupe Fiasco. That's a lot of times I get my foreign news from the lyrics of Lupe Fiasco, and from there I feel somewhat informed.
No, I feel like you're telling the truth.
Yeah. it's, I was like, oh, I know about the Gaza Strip now. Thanks, Lupe. You kind of ruined my Tuesday, but appreciate the information. So I'm curious your endeavors last night, because you don't really go out partying like that often.
Never.
How are you feeling?
I feel good as a once party boy, as a once F boy. I lived the life, and I understand how to control myself. Like meaning, we had a lot of drinks. Celebration. We had a lot of drinks celebrating a birthday. You gotta drink water. You have to drink water. If you don't, you're gonna be a mess. Like I'm okay. Like I feel good. Like I almost don't even remember drinking last night. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't have the pictures, I wouldn't even be sure I did it or not.
I was about to say that's a lot of drinking. It's like so much drinking I don't remember drinking at all. Just the water part.
I know I drank water. I have to. My old boss, my boss that I got like my first real job, man. Listen, man. He told me how to be a drunk. Like okay. He taught me. He said because I used to come to work like wrecked every day, like just wrecked. I was like 23. He was like whatever, and he told me he was like Alan. You got to drink as much water as you do alcohol. And before you go to bed, take a Tylenol. Oh. I didn't do the Tylenol last night, but I've done it many times. And trust me, you can go right to work after that. Like nothing even happened. Drink. You have 2 beers, have like 2 cups of water. You will be all right. You want to have 4 shots, take 2 glasses of water, whatever. I'm telling you, you're going to be all right with a Tylenol. Great. So I feel good. Like it's a good Sunday morning. It's cold. It's sunny out, but I feel great. You know what I mean? I feel good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good strategy, man. A lot of people don't do the water thing when you're caught up in the tequilas and the Coors Lights. A lot of times you forget to get that H2O. You got to get that H2O going. I'm a hydro homie, so I'm drinking water nonstop. Shout out to water real quick. But so it's nonstop for me sort of thing, but it does help a lot, and that Tylenol trick also helps. Although admittedly I don't really do that much.
Yeah. So last night it was I don't know, it's a Saturday. I love to be at the comedy club, be at the shows, be around the action. But I was like, I gotta take time off. We talk about this often.
Yeah.
You gotta take time off to live a life. You can't just do comedy every night, every day. You gotta do life so you can have comedy. You know what I mean? So you can have weeks.
Were you standing on couches? Were you like on top of the bar?
I don't think I did anything crazy last night. When I'm like, so it's my girl's party. I'm in like boyfriend / security / host / like, so I'm like have a bunch of different roles. So I couldn't like wild out and like run down the street with my shirt off. You know what I mean?
So it's like, that suggests that you were the purse holder. That's which is not a bad role to have. if you're there for your lady, sometimes you got to hold the purse.
See, producer, I knew he was going to say that. Producer Patsy, that's what I do. I was going to say that because only a man with a woman knows that you are the purse holder. When she go to the bathroom, you got to hold the pocketbook. You got to do all that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
I yeah, I don't mind holding the purse. In fact, sometimes I'll bring my own purse just to let them know how progressive I am.
mm, I see what you're doing. So you just rock the purse. I got you. You got to get Darius the purse. You're a puppet. You get your puppet a purse
Oh
too.
goodness, yeah, Darius. He wishes I get him a
He
purse.
wishes.
It's,
He
um,
wishes.
yeah, man. I was out in the streets last night. The comedy streets though. I did the comedy streets last night. In
Where were you
old
at?
Victoria Freehouse in Old City for the Next in Line show. They did the two out there. For listeners, it's a series of shows they do out in the city throughout different venues. And yeah, I was excited to be on it, and it was cool to be on. It's always nice having back to back of like this is the first one, and then it's like okay, you get to do it again, like a more polished version of it or something different on the second one. So that was cool. Yeah, coworker Justin came out. Big shout out to him. He came out from Delaware, and I don't know if you remember that room, but the Victoria Freehouse, they used to have an open mic called Wanker Wednesdays,
Yeah.
hosted by like Robert Rule. I think
Yeah.
Cat Mosley at some point too. And it was wild. It was kind of trippy just being up there because it was been like 6 years since performing in that room. So it was
Yeah.
like it kind of brought back memories, and even just being up there, like, oh yeah, that's right. So that was a plus. So that my nights were that's why I was up so late because we got pizza afterwards, and then came back, and then I was like, all right, let me before I go to bed, let me send Alan some topics. And then I was surprised to get a message back. I was like, oh, all right, Alan's actually up. That's cool.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna surprise you when I messaged you. I was like, he's not gonna believe this shit.
Yeah, man.
So so how was the show? Was it like packed out? Or because you said it's two, so it's two. That means the first one probably was sold out for sure, right?
Yeah, they sold the first one out. And then the second one, it was they took some of the seats away. It wasn't as crowded, but still a good crowd. They I don't know if you ever do this, especially like if in New York, whatever, like where they do kind of like a round robin situation where it's like after you're performing, you'll bring the next person up versus like having a host come up and
Yeah.
forth, back and forth sort of thing. Have you ever done any of those where it's like you're
Yeah.
bringing the next person up?
Yeah, I've done those. I mean, they're not bad. I mean, one thing that I don't like about doing that is you have to remember like the other person's maybe credits and
Yeah,
name pronunciation and things like that. So it's kind of like your last joke, you're not giving it everything that you normally give because you're trying to remember what to say
yeah.
next.
That's one thing I'll agree with that of like, and I don't think it fully takes away from the closer, but it's not. You know the feeling of when you close on something and that's the last thing they hear from you. It's like close on this is the last memory you're gonna have me. I'm out, sort of
Yeah.
thing. Whereas this one's more like close, have a little bit of a pause, and it's like, all right, if you guys like that one, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for like it's get it going back into host mode
Yeah.
right after that. Which essentially it's kind of like when you're hosting. Like if you're hosting something, that's what you'll be doing. Like you'll close and then you'll be like, all right, ready for your feature act.
Yeah.
So it's not too unfamiliar in that way, but I could definitely see that part of it.
Yeah. That's what it is when I host for me. It's like I feel like my last joke, I'm thinking about something else. Once I'm thinking about something else, I'm not giving what I'm supposed to give to this joke. Like it's impossible for me. Like I can't because I can't be like, all right, got through that joke. All right, now what do I got to say next? No, I already gotta have what I'm saying next in my head, or I'm gonna forget.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving it what I could. So I just prefer if there was a host, But like it's what it is, though. I've done both. It is what it is. Like whatever. But if I had to choose.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean on that. I was annoyed with one thing on my end, and I don't know if you could relate to this. Of like you prep up for a show sort of thing, and it's like you may have newer stuff or things that you want to like hone in. So like you'll do mics preparing for those things. And that's pretty much what this whole week was, of just doing mics, prepping up for the two shows last night, of like things I wanted to like try out. So you focus on those things so much because you think the other stuff you have in the bag. It's like,
Yeah.
I know the other stuff muscle memory wise. And like it's good just to run those by too, but at mics, if you only have like 4 or 5 minutes, you may prioritize some of the other stuff. So there was a bit that it's like, I have that. I know how that operates. I know the words, the wording of it. I'll be fine with it. And then I botched one bit. That's like my go-to bit sort of thing. Not go-to bit, but like a bit that I do regularly. And it wasn't like a bad botch, but it was like a one where I would notice it, but going out of it, I don't think other people would notice it. So that's always kind of an annoying thing of like, do you ever run into that? With like, it's oh gosh, it's the worst.
But it's mainly because of what you did. Like you said, we go out there, we try to work on the new stuff, and you're like, yo, I got this old stuff in the bag. But we don't sometimes, like, because your brain is thinking about the new stuff, you're gonna perfect the new stuff, and they'll be like, what I do is I'm famous for not famous, but like in my head, I do it to myself a lot where it's like a tag, like I'll forget a tag, like an important tag.
Yeah.
So like my setup will be good, the punches, but like my tags will suffer because like I don't know. As I'm learning my set more, the way I do comedy, tags are very, very important for me. Like this is the way I do it, and it's like not saying that a certain tag will just mess up the rest of them because I was like, you know what I mean. So, but I'll do that when I'm thinking about something new because it's not as tight because I'm not working on it. That's just what happens. So now what happens is you won't probably do the same mistake on this joke. It'll probably be another joke next time. You know what I mean? So
you know what I hate to say? I made this exact same mistake a year ago with this exact joke. Which is like, and it was one of those things again where I remember it was like a bigger show, and I was like, oh, like you know this one. So there's something with the wording. Maybe it's like an indicator that I gotta switch up some wording too. Maybe it's a sign of switching some stuff up. But yeah, you have that kind of like in your head afterwards, like, oh, do I go back to it afterwards? Or it kind of, luckily it didn't throw me off equilibrium. Like it still was like a solid set afterwards. It was like maybe like at the 5-minute mark, still going, still went well. Second show went well, sort of thing. But you have that in the back of your mind while you're up there of like, try to stay present, try not to focus on what happened a minute ago that really only you realize is happening, instead of like, and I'm not one to I know we talk about this of like bringing that up to the audience of like, that didn't work out, or like, that. So luckily in that way, I don't think it was something that was like very noticeable, but I was definitely in my head about it. Still am. If you can't tell, still in my head about it.
Next episode, Kirk will be like, remember 3 weeks ago when I did that bit? No. No, but listen, man, that happens. But like you said, the important thing is if the audience didn't realize it, just keep moving. Don't even fret. You know what I mean? Just keep going. You know what I mean? Have you had this happen? Have you had this happen? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I was gonna say, have you had this happen? Have you worked on a joke all week long at mics? You get like, yo, I'm very confident in this joke, and then you just forget to tell it.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, I've had that. I've had that happen to me like 3 weeks ago. It's so annoying because like it's the joke you're most excited for telling, and then whatever reason you're in the rhythm of doing a set. Maybe you're doing some of the stuff that you know works, and then it's like you're so excited and confident about joke. You're like, oh, I could place it in this spot, and I'll definitely remember it. And then it's like afterwards, like, did I not tell that whole bit about gargoyles? I'm working on this gargoyle bit. That's the worst, man.
I've been doing that for like 2 weeks with this one joke. Like I just, for some reason, it doesn't fit in anywhere. And like you said, when you're doing a set and it's going well, sometimes I'm like, yo, I don't want to mess this up. Like, let me just do what I know works. And so I don't know. Like, I just for like 2 weeks I've been failing to do this one joke that I've been working on, and I know it's funny. Like I've done it in conversation with people. That's my thing, and then they laugh. I'm like, I guess this has legs. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like I just keep forgetting though. So I was just wondering if that was just me.
No, man. I had a month specific joke in October that I was working on throughout all of October. And like and I was like, oh, I'll and I had like two shows at the end of the month. I was like, all right, well, these are my last two times to really tell this joke. And in the joke,
Yeah,
it acknowledges that it's only specific to October. So it's a fun and exciting one. That's my review of the joke. It's a fun and exciting joke. Everyone's gonna love the
fun
October.
and exciting.
They did
Two
love the
thumbs
joke.
up.
But like it would be
Okay.
like I did like two shows, and afterwards, it's like, oh, I didn't do that thing. And I was like, oh, well, you know what? I have the next show on Halloween Day. I'll bring the joke back. It's going to be hilarious. People are going to be laughing. I got Darius with me. He may chime in a little bit. And I don't know if it was because of Darius, he threw me off, but like I just didn't do the bit. And I was like, oh, gosh. Like that's,
So you brought Darius on stage?
yeah. No, for Halloween, I brought Darius on stage.
Oh, for Halloween.
Yeah.
For Halloween.
Yo, no, I didn't. For next in line, I did not bring Darius on stage. All right, so for the second show, guys, I know I didn't message this at all, but I have a special guest.
So funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, you got to get those jokes out, those date specific jokes out before the date runs out because you won't have it. You can't do them tomorrow, and that's the fear that a lot of people had the other day when they caught wind that a bunch of Twitter employees left Twitter because of Elon Musk. They thought that Twitter wasn't going to be around the next day. Did you see that?
yeah, I did see this, man. So I'm not big on Twitter like that. Like I don't really use Twitter as much, but for what I'm gathering, the app has been on shaky legs. Uh, so what Elon Musk he acquires Twitter, and he's kind of playing the role of kind of mean boss, I guess, for lack of better words.
Yeah,
A lot of layoffs, and in the tech world, apparently there's something going on where there's been a lot of layoffs just in general for other places too. But with this one, he's just very performative about it. Like he's tweeting about it, sort of thing. He's using the company in that way, and then they shut the buildings down for a lot of the employees too.
yeah.
So do you think this is turning people away from using Twitter?
I know it is. This is how I know. It's going to seem weird. This is how I know. So on Twitter, you can pin a tweet to your profile. So people put like their most popular tweet or a funny tweet to the top of their profile. And the pinned tweet that I have on my profile is my joke about TC, about the cat that I went viral with like a year and a half ago. I have that pinned to my profile. And it's going to sound, I think the word is vain,
Okay.
but whatever. But whatever. So I know that there was 49.9 thousand retweets on that tweet. I know that
That's crazy.
because I see the number every day when I get on my Twitter. You know what I mean? It's just right there. How many tweets, how many retweets and likes this one tweet specifically has. So I realized that that number has dropped to like 47.7
How's that happen?
people deactivate their accounts.
Oh, so when they deactivate, it takes away from the retweet counts as well. Oh, that's silly.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I guess people are leaving. You know what I mean? People are saying they're leaving, but this number is telling me that people are leaving. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
that's wild. I didn't realize I was part of it. That's as a someone that uses Twitter, do you feel less motivated to use the app? Like, do you feel more incentive to post on like maybe an Instagram or even Facebook versus?
um, I've done a pretty good job of being active or not. I've been consistent across the board. Like I post on Facebook pretty much every day anyway. Like I would I usually what I'll do is I'll just tweet my best tweet I'll just put on Facebook that day. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so I still utilize it. I utilize Instagram and all that. But like Twitter for me is more it was really like a like the gym. Like I was working out. I was working on jokes and things like that. I can still do that without posting it to tweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I have a bunch of drafts of tweets that I never post. They were just me getting the wording down and like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
writing jokes. So it is what it is. I don't have no huge following on there. So
It's not
it ain't that serious.
49,000. That's pretty significant.
Well, that's just on that was just one tweet that went viral.
Oh.
Like, I don't have that many followers. You know what I
Here's
mean?
what's TC the cat? What is that?
never,
What is it? I was trying to recall like I don't remember
never
what
heard
that.
that. So I tweeted this. I do it on stage now too. Where my grandparents had a cat growing up named TC, and TC has been dead for like 15 years now. I would say 15 been dead for like 15 years. And recently I found out that TC stood for the cat.
That's
Like,
right. I have seen you do that before. Okay,
yeah. So,
that's
but
funny.
it originally started as a tweet. Like, I was literally just tweeting it because my cousin told me what TC stood for, and I was like, no way. I was like, for my whole life, I didn't know that TC stood for the cat. And I just tweeted it, and it like went viral. You know what I mean? So after that, I was like, let me just take this on stage. So I've been stage ever since.
Man, it's always the simple ones that's always just like the bangers. I'm just like, oh yeah, like it's not like an intricate thing, or it's not
Nope.
necessarily the most super topical. It's always just like the simple ones that are right in front of you that really resonates with people.
Yeah.
Which not necessarily to go into the topic of Kanye and Kyrie, but for Chappelle's monologue on SNL that he did last week, it was such a simple one. Like he had a line of like Kanye got in so much trouble that Kyrie got in trouble. Where I was like, oh my gosh, that's such that's such a, that's such, that is hilarious.
Oh,
But it's right in
man.
front of our face. It's right there, and just being able to like kind of have the brevity for it all. I think that adds to it too.
I'm gonna I'm gonna say something. Probably shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna
That's
say
the
it anyway.
basis of this show. So yeah, you're on brand for it.
I'm gonna say it anyway. After watching Chappelle's SNL thing,
Uh-oh.
I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, like you said, that Kyrie Kanye line was right under our noses. That that was the first time I watched Dave Chappelle, and I got super motivated because I was like, bro, if I sat down and thought I could come up with something, you know what I mean, like good as
And
well.
within that vein, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was confident, like I'm not far off. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
not far off. You know.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
man. It's
it was
it,
it was that was the first time I watched it though, and I thought that. Go ahead.
that was the first time you watched Chappelle and felt motivated though?
Like that, where it was like I'm close. Like I can get that out of me. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I felt motivated. Like, yo, I want to write some jokes. Yeah, now I want to get funny. But now I'm like, yo, I'm funny.
Yeah.
I can get that. I can get that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you ever I don't know how it works because he has that like that New York party for comedians every year. Where
Mm.
it's like an annual just ball and it's for comics regardless of what sort of like credits you may have had or like status in the comedy world. Apparently it's open to all like New York based comics. You gotta hit up that party, man. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah. I'm going. Like I seen the pictures of it last year. And I seen a lot of people I knew and know. I'm
Yeah,
going. I'm going.
that's
You should
wild.
go to. You should go to Kirk.
If I'm invited, if I don't know what the restrictions are with the ball. I don't know if it's like, yeah, if you're a comic from like Wisconsin, you can just show up. I don't know. But if it's open to Downingtown comics, yeah, I'll pop through. That'd be nice.
You're from the Bronx, Kirk.
That's allowed to use that. Yeah,
There you.
I'm a
There you
Bronx
go.
comic, and now that I know
I'm,
they're doing shows in the Bronx, that's
yeah. It was interesting because my brother is a Hebrew Israelite.
yeah.
He called me and he asked me about the Dave Chappelle thing to see what I thought, and I already knew what his angle was because I know what he thinks, and I already know what he thinks. You know what I mean? So I'll just say that he enjoyed this Dave Chappelle's monologue. I'll just say that.
Do you feel that it provokes needed conversation? Do you feel like there's any sort of problematic elements to it?
I don't know if this will get edited, but I'm going to say it because I said it last night to a guy, and I think that I'm gonna just say it. What? I'm not gonna say it.
Percy Pat, you already know what to do.
Wait, look. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. You come up with some funny black jokes, I'm gonna crack up.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm gonna crack up. Like, and then you making jokes about me don't mean you hate me.
Right.
I'm just saying. If you make a joke about me, if it's funny, I'm going to laugh. I wish everyone did the same. That's all I'll say. You know,
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I don't think we got to edit that out.
Yeah, no,
That's a fair statement.
It was more raw last night off of the tequila I was drinking. It was more raw, but this was better. I like the way it sounded here. Yeah.
I actually didn't watch the full episode. I watched the monologue. Last week was also late night. I've been having some late Saturdays. Came back like at 1:30. Watched a bunch of UFC interviews, which we'll talk about in a second. And then for whatever reason, I was like, oh yeah, Chappelle hosted. So I watched the monologue like at 2:00 in the morning, and I watched it again. And I had the same thing where people were messaging me about it. It's always interesting when you do comedy because you'll be the go-to person for people's take. Like, what did you think of this? And it's like, well, I watched it as well, and here's my professional opinion. And
right.
So it's always interesting to hear people will come to you for it. But yeah, it was solid. It was solid in a lot of ways. I love I love the first half of it in pertaining to like even just like the disclaimer in the beginning of it, and then diving into topical bits like current event ones, and then crafting it as if it's something that he's been doing for over a year. So that was really cool to see. I feel like even on SNL, when you get comics on there, you'll see a lot of them do just their material, which is nothing's wrong with that. But with Chappelle, it feels like he addresses the nation, which I realize that's kind of a grandiose term, but it feels very much like that, where he talks about what's currently going on. So it's always kind of a cool thing to see that. That night before watch Chappelle, your boy was out at Buffalo Wild Wings doing his routine of watching UFC 281. Alan, did you watch UFC 281?
No, but I do know that. What's his name?
Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya lost.
Yeah, man, that was a hard one. So Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion, who's been reigning champion for about like 4 years now, for a while. Really good champion in terms of like how he presents himself and the stuff he does outside of his championship stuff. He's just a solid champ. I'm a fan of him. He was going up against Alex Pereira, who is the only person to have beaten him in his MMA career, even outside of the UFC. So they've fought 2 times. Alex Pereira has beaten him 2 times, and Alex Pereira has made his way up into the UFC. So it was like, all right, now he's going to go against Izzy again. It's been years since they last fought. Izzy has gotten better. Alex has also gotten better. And it was a close one, man. It was a good fight overall. It wasn't until close to the end of the 5th round that Alex Pereira was able to get a TKO finish. Otherwise, Izzy was essentially winning the whole fight. So Alex Pereira is the middleweight champion. And shout out to Izzy Adesanya, man, because he's the way how he's handling it. Like, he's doing interviews. He showed up on Andrew Schultz's show afterwards. Like, he's still making his rounds, and just a testament to how good of a champ he was. But it was, for those that maybe don't watch as much UFC, this card in general was in Madison Square Garden, would have been a good introduction because it just had everything that you would want from a card like this.
So what'll happen now? Will it be a rematch?
That's what they're thinking. Yeah. So they're thinking because with UFC fights and just in general MMA fights, you never really know, like, between injuries and layoffs that people have, like they call them suspensions. Like, say if you were to get hurt in a fight, they'll like suspend you for a certain amount of time. And with this, it's like, oh, do we go with another contender? But that's the main talk, is to have a rematch, a 4th match essentially between the two, with Izzy going for the belt this time, potentially in Brazil, which is Alex Pereira's home base. So that would be the next move. It seems like Izzy can get it done, but it's for whatever reason this guy he's huge. So I don't know if you ever saw photos of him, but the Alex Pereira, he looks like he should be a light heavyweight. But for whatever
Yeah.
reason, he cuts enough weight to get middleweight. So it's he kind of has the advantage on that end.
Mm. How old is Izzy?
Izzy's like, I don't know, Bruce Bab, you can check that. I think Izzy's probably like 33, 32.
Is that old for UFC?
No, it's young. Like older for UFC is like when they get in like late 30s. Like there was one guy on there called Michael Chandler, who I think is like 38, and he's still killing it. His whole thing is like since he's had a whole career outside of the UFC, now that he's in the UFC, his whole thing is not even necessarily winning, it's just making explosive fights. So every time you see a Michael Chandler fight, his whole thing is like, I may get knocked out, I'm not sure, but I'm here to make an explosive fight, which he did for this one, which is kind of wild. But that was also another banger fight, Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier. Definitely check those out.
Yeah, I don't want to fight anybody that's this there for a good time. That's the last person that I want to fight.
When you start dropping lines in the press conference, like I'm here for a good time, not a long time, it's like, all right, that's I
No,
don't know if I want to be situated with this.
no, sir. I would not do it. What do you ever do UFC? Or like MMA style fighting?
I would spar. Yeah, I think so. I would do like a 6 month trial. If they're like, hey, you get a discount off this at your local kickboxing gym. Yeah, I would definitely spar.
6 month trial. It's not an HBO Max membership.
Some of them do. Some of them have like a little bit of a discounted rate, but I wouldn't never actually never, but I don't think I would get into like competitive fighting. Just like the wear and tear. I think a lot of times when we watch these fights, boxing, UFC, and stuff, you kind of get desensitized to the pain and injury aspect of it. Like it's almost like when you play the game too.
Right.
It's like you're so used to just seeing like, oh yeah, it's a calf kick. Oh yeah, it's a head kick. And you're so enthralled by like the technique, and like the movements of it that sometimes it gets lost on you. Like, oh, there's actual damage that people that participate in this go through. So for me, I'm good. I'll leave it at rip sticking. That's where my body is gonna take any potential damage. And on occasion drinking whole milk. But other than that, I'm good on doing the UFCs.
Uh, it's funny because my oldest daughter, she wants to wrestle in high school.
Really?
I'm like, all right, you go ahead, get them cauliflower ears if you want to.
That's gonna be sick. You're gonna let her do
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah, of
Good.
course.
That's
Why
wild.
wouldn't I? I
That's
mean,
a. I mean, some people they get a little weird about that, but that's like a unique thing too. Of like, I don't I don't think I've ever seen or heard of like a young woman saying like I want to wrestle. Like not like I've heard professional wrestling, but like actual like wrestle. That's like a really good skill to have.
so I remember when I was in high school, there was like two girls on the wrestling team, but at my daughter's school now, they have like a female wrestling team, like a whole like it's just a bunch of girls on the team. You know what I mean? Like a field hockey team or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just a bunch of girls.
Damn, that's wild. I don't think my high school had that. I think we had a wrestling team, but we definitely didn't have like one for women. That's
Nope.
sick. Yeah, Bruce Pat is suggesting judo as well, as it'll build a lot of confidence and great for self defense. I need to take that as well. Yeah, that's 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 really cool, man.
So so I told her, I was like, I ain't the one wrestling. I ain't the wrestler. You go ahead, have fun. I'll be there at the matches cheering you on, but I'm saying right now, I'm the kind of dad where go do it. Go ahead, figure it out. I'm not gonna be like no
Right.
because I don't even have a good reason. You know what I mean? Like
That's
so I'm glad.
if this is something that she goes through with and there's actual matches, Uncle Kirk would like an invite, because I've never been to an actual wrestling match where it's not like professional wrestling. So good for her. I'm rooting for her on this one. Do you think, or do you on your end, do you think there'll be any wrestling at the Thanksgiving table this week? A lot of families coming up, a lot of contention. People aren't too sure about certain stances, and they don't know how to regulate their emotions, and they may do a British bulldog. So do you anticipate any wrestling at the table this year?
I can see my daughter rock bottoming my dad through the table. I can
Okay.
see that.
Okay. That's if you smell what the turkey's.
No, no, my family is a small family. Like my Thanksgiving family, it's a small one. Everybody's tight knit. It ain't like no drama. It ain't like no scandal. It's a little bit of us. We eat our food, watch our football. It's a very chill. Thanksgiving's a very chill day at my dad's house. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I don't have all that drama and all. We good. We chilling. What about you? How does like your Thanksgiving look? Because you are, as you like to always tell us, racially ambiguous.
True.
So
Like,
with your Indian and your Jamaican side, like how does your Thanksgiving table look? Like what
that's
foods?
yeah, just ham sandwiches. We go to Wawa. No, it's this actually I haven't been to my family's Thanksgiving in probably 3 years. And that's not like beef my family. The first year a little bit. When
Pandemic.
well, the first year was before the pandemic. It was like the whole ending the engagement thing. And my mom
Oh,
dropped the line of like no wedding, no turkey. So we didn't do Thanksgiving. You know what's funny? I That's a joke. She didn't actually say that, but I've said that to myself enough times where I'm like, did she say that? Did she? That's wild that she dropped that line on us. The whole family suffered. But no, I don't. She didn't say that. I definitely created that line for her.
that's so funny because I feel like I've done that too. Like embellished jokes. I'm like, wait, did that really happen?
Yeah. Sometimes I gotta worry. I'm like, oh, false memories. Be careful. So yeah, what we didn't do it that year. She really did cancel Thanksgiving. She didn't say it, but she didn't say that line, but that was the sentiment behind it. And then pandemic, and then I spent Thanksgiving over at an ex's last year, which is the first time going to another family's thing. Um, Typically though, like as a kid, like when my grandmother's still around, yeah, it was exactly that. So like my grandmother, she would make a turkey, but like she would also make like Indian stuff too. So she would have like roti and dal. Then there would also be like stuffing, and then like sometimes like there would be oxtail. So sometimes there would be a mix of like Indian and Jamaican, but typically they stuck with one. It wasn't like going to be an overload. So it was like
Yeah,
let's stick with one main thing, and then maybe there'll be other elements. Thanksgiving as a kid was dope. Thanksgiving was nice as a kid.
yeah.
I feel like now it's like it's cool. It feels like I'm the chauffeur of like I'm driving people left and right. I'm the designated driver for a lot of different things. So it should be nice. This year I'm just gonna go to my mom's and then something small with my aunt, stepdad, and yeah, the night before, which I don't know. You ever heard of like how wild it is in terms of driving the night before Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
Like how that's like
I've heard about that because it's a big party day because there's no work till next day. There's no work the next day, and there's a bunch of food the next day. Family comes from out of town, so it could be a hectic night.
yeah. So I have to be in Lehigh Valley for Turkey Jam November 23rd. So show up. Tickets still available. I have to be for the Turkey Jam. I'm hosting that a large variety show. And I don't want to be on the roads. I know it sounds like a very old thing. It sounds very like I don't want to be in the city because there's crime there. But I don't want to be on the roads. So I'm gonna try to just do the turkey jam, which there may be a turkey dance. I don't know. But do the turkey jam, head home, and then gear up for Thanksgiving. And then hopefully no wrestling at the table. We shall see though.
Yeah. What time is your turkey jam show and where? Bethlehem?
Yeah, it's 7:30 Bethlehem Steel Stacks at the Music Cafe. So it's like in the big room. I It sounds like I'm not excited for it, sort of thing. It's which I'm not shitting on the Turkey Jam. Turkey Jam will be fine. It's more so just the logistical elements of like going out there, driving back. It's gonna be a lot of people and all that stuff. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I was
I don't know if you've had those things and sorry, I mean to cut you off, but like you have particular shows where it's like, wow, you're like really excited about it. Like I talked about the Next in Line one where it's like you want to gear up, do different things. Then you have shows where it feels more like a job,
yeah,
which is fine. That's a part of it. Like you're still going to be doing things that'll be fun while there in a lot of ways, but you're able to recognize like, okay, this is a job versus like this is something that it doesn't maybe feel as self-fulfilling. I don't know if you
yeah,
can relate to that.
yeah. No, I feel that. Like, especially when I'm hosting.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
when I'm hosting is a job.
Yeah.
The whole pay scale in comedy, the host normally gets paid the least amount of money, which is insane because a lot of
Yeah.
times they're doing a lot of work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it is the way comedy is though. Normally, the newer person on the show in comedy would be the host, and then you know how it builds up.
Right.
So that's why they make less. But it's still a job. Hosting is really a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like hosting and doing shows that are like shows that are like musical shows, variety shows,
Yeah.
like the
I feel like
like
that's the thing.
like what you're
Nothing.
doing.
Variety shows, not if you're looking for a variety show host, know that I'm available. Sure, if you're listening. Um, However, it's a little bit different versus like doing like a show full of comics versus like it's like here's an orchestra, which if there's an orchestra on this one, that actually be kind of cool. But it is a little bit different, especially if you're not necessarily not a music person, but if it's music you don't really listen to that much. I maybe I should get this edited out. I won't, but it's like uh overall I am excited for it. I went to school with the people that are running it, and they like sought me out to do it again. I think I'm maybe I'm burnt out. Maybe your boy's a little burnt out, and the drive part of it because it's going to be kind of a little bit of a busy week. Your boy has a little treat at the end of it, though.
Yeah.
Your boy's doing a nice little Airbnb with a honey Dijon. So that's at the end of the week. That's what I got to look
Whoa.
for. That's yeah.
Okay, so that's Thanksgiving week or this week? This week is Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, Thanksgiving crept up on us, man.
Yeah,
November, man. That was wilding. Which is
yeah,
good. Honestly, November's one of my least favorite months, so I'm glad that it kind of went by pretty fast.
yeah. It did go by fast. I was just in Trinidad in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is. I'm ready for 2023. 2020. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm making my vision board already. I can't wait.
With that, I was suggesting with the future endeavors, let's get in some goals. So with 2023 coming up about and such, and I was talking about that October bit. This is a goal that I'm aiming for myself. I want to come up with a bit for each month. I want a month specific bit for each month because while doing the October one, I was like, man, this is really fun. I don't know how fun November's will be. I have one that's kind of halfway through November, and it's all right. But I want the goal is to have a bit dedicated to each month. Maybe it becomes a chunk where I just have a whole chunk on just each month. Shout out to Gary Oldman. He has that the one about the states, and it kind of inspired that a little bit. So I'm like, oh, maybe that'll be the thing. So I'm gonna aim to have one for each month, and also it's kind of like gives you a little bit of a structure of like when you're looking for new bits or thinking of new bits. This one's like, oh well, I'm focusing on January right now, and like, what are the details of January? What are facets of January that are out there? And yeah, I'm trying to find the funny in that. And I like the idea of it being structured. So that's what I'm gonna aim to do.
No, that's a good goal because I think what's going to happen is like you said, you're gonna if you start writing 12 different jokes about anything, you have a huge chunk of material.
Yeah,
I mean, so you're going to have a whole nother set.
yeah, they're not ready for April. April's going to be a crazy one. April's going to be a crazy one. October was kind of a nutty one in itself. I dig the October one, but April, they'll see.
What's so special about April?
That's when the fools come out. So I'm gonna be fooling on April. That's
I'm interested to see your February jokes.
February. Oh my gosh, I have this theory that February is the Tuesday of months, and I'm not a fan of Tuesdays. So I've been working on trying to abolish November and February from the calendar, but they'll see later on once I get these out. I recognize there's a very important recognition on February. I think
It's
we
very,
move it
that was
to a
very racist. That was very racist of you.
Here's my thing though. I've thought about this. We move it to a longer month because it's kind of wild. We get kind of a short month anyway. Move it to a longer month. Get rid of February because I think February and November is when seasonal depression comes up the most for many people, and just for my own petty reasons as well. I don't like those months.
So, what month would you say we changed Black History Month to? March?
That could be fitting in a lot of ways. And if you're a pun person, yes, that as well. If you're a pun person, yes. I'm thinking June too, though. June's kind of nice because it's like the weather's wavy.
Yeah. June's taken.
June's taken.
Pride month. Pride month.
June. We may need to do like a nice little shuffle. We might need to like do some negotiations. So we'll consider that. But like June, July, I like June more, but July maybe that could be cool. Just like warmer weather. We got like cookouts going out. We got people at the beach and all that. I kind of like the wave of that as well, and also a little bit more days in February. I still think June works.
July got 4th of July. They're not going to give us that.
Again, we shuffle.
You can't. It's Pride Month.
So all right. So we have the 4th of August. That's the new wave. 4th of August. That's the new wave. We get the fireworks going for that. And in turn, we have Black History Month in July. Everyone's at Orchard Beach having a gay old time. That's what I'm thinking. That's just a draft, though.
It's a draft.
That's just a draft. That's just a draft of like that's just a rough draft. Granted, we may actually have to have an actual draft in terms of the months and when we're doing the negotiations. But right now, this is just kind of a rough overall draft. I'll present it to the people and Whoopi Goldberg. I think she's like on the committee when it comes to these things. So
Whoopi and Tyler Perry, this is the whole committee.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler Perry. I feel like I haven't heard. He's been in the background. What's Tyler Perry been up to?
The last thing I seen Tyler Perry do that was made the news that was really good was he gave Meghan Markle and Prince Harry like shelter when they like fled England. Like they stayed with him. Like that's pretty cool.
That's well, you know who controls the media? Tyler Perry. That's the thing that some people are missing the mark on this one. Like,
bro, imagine the Tyler Perry to the media. Every news station just be a different version of Medea.
Exactly.
Today's weather.
Medea goes to Fox News. Medea interacts with Sean Hannity.
Medea goes to Guantanamo Bay.
Medea controls the weather. That's what I'm here to say. Medea controls the weather.
Oh, thank the Lord. So look, I'll do my goal. I forgot my goal. I need to get back on it. I got to get back on my workout stuff. I completely 100% stopped working out.
Stop working out completely.
I stopped doing my push-ups. I stopped riding the bike. I still eat good, but like I just been chilling, and it just been I haven't been making time for it. I've been doing other things that have been good for me. Like I've been reading and writing more. Trying to focus on that, but I gotta get back to the health part. That's very important. I got a stationary bike in my house, bro. Like,
oh, sure, nice.
I could just ride that every day, like I was. So yeah. I'm gonna do that. I gotta get back to riding the bike, doing push-ups. So that's the goal of mine. So what's this? November? I have no idea what today's date is.
November 32nd. I just checked.
To the new Black History Month. But yeah, Monday. Tomorrow's Monday. Tomorrow I'm going to do my 30 minutes on the bike and start doing my push-ups again. Last night we were playing a drinking game, and one of the things in the game where I had to do 10 push-ups, and I was like, oh, that's no big deal. And when I was doing them, I was like, oh my God, I gotta do push-ups again.
Yeah, that's by push-up number 6. It's like, oh, I gotta hold up here for a little bit. Ooh, before I dip back down. Does it help when you do things like when you have like a workout goal? like if you set them up in increments of like, all right, I'm going to be on the bike I have to do it for at least 5 days, 20 minutes per day. Like, do you break it down that way, or for you, is it just kind of like, how do you measure it for yourself?
Yeah, I need specific numbers. I feel like I realized that about myself. So even just saying, "Oh, I got to work out more," it means nothing to me. I telling you, telling the people makes me hold me accountable and giving myself numbers. Because if I don't give myself numbers, then what is actually the goal? Like, can I
Right.
rather bike for 17 seconds one day a week? Like, no, like
Right.
I need a specific goal to hit. Like I played sports all my life. Like we had goals. Like that team got a touchdown, we need a touchdown. But like if they don't score, we be lackadaisical about scoring. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
Like I
like,
used to lackadaisical like that.
you know what I mean?
Nice.
So I need that number. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's no reason why I can't hop on the bike. Thursday and Friday, I'm ripping and running. But yeah, there's no reason why I can't I can do push-ups anywhere. So yeah, like
That's the great thing about push-ups. Oh my
yeah,
goodness, I've been on my push-up game for a bit. I tapered off a little bit, and I caught myself tapering off. So yesterday I went back into it of like the
yeah.
100 every other day sort of thing. And yeah, man, it's I wish you well on
Mm.
it. It's a good thing to have.
How's how's the 100 every day holding up? How's that going?
That's one that tapered off. So like throughout October, which was a hot month, that was one where I was doing it every other day. It was cool. November, it's tapered off in that I haven't committed to, like, I've been doing it every other day of like, oh, let me just keep doing it, but I haven't necessarily been counting. There's times where it's
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm just feeling good doing this, but I'm not like quantifying it. And I find putting a number to it helps me continue, kind of like what you were saying, of like having measures for it and kind of have a path to go on versus like, oh, this feels good versus, oh, it doesn't feel as good. Because when it doesn't feel as good, that's when you have the numbers to rely on. That's what's like,
yeah,
oh, well, I still want to hit this mark.
right.
So I haven't been as committed this November, but I caught myself yesterday. So then I went back onto like, let me make sure to hit 100 this day. So tomorrow, another 100.
Nice. Yeah, I want to get to that point. I'm not at 100 yet, but let me get these 30 a day in. You know, and
Yeah.
we'll be
Well,
like,
it's also note it's not 100 consecutive push-ups either. Like it's like I break them up. I usually it's like by 20 and 25s. So like
yeah.
sometimes it'll be like 4 sets or 5 sets. So if you do like 10, 15, try to hit that number.
I did that. I tried that before, and dude, that's hard because like you
What?
could be like, oh, I can do increments of 20. I'll do 25 times. Man, no, you won't. You
Those first
get to that third increment, you be like, what is going on?
my elbow hurts.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a real thing. The elbow pain is a very real thing for that. So you got to be mindful of that. Real quick, man, I since we're on segments, I want to go back to back. Let's get in some prop suggestions. We always talk about this. Sometimes we don't watch as many comedy specials. So because we see a lot of locals and just people around us and just seeing it live. So we already see a lot of comedy. But sometimes it's nice just to sit back and watch a Dave Chappelle monologue or a new special. My prop suggestion, I'd like to recommend Neil Brennan's new special, Blocks, on Netflix. Man, have you seen this by chance?
I didn't even know he dropped something.
Bro, I didn't know until the day I saw it, which is nice. That's always nice when you get a new reveal. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, Ghostface dropped the tape, and it's like, oh, I have a new Ghostface album. So that was the deal with this one. It was cool, man. Like it's kind of like his last special, Three Mics. It's conceptual of that. Like he has like literally like these blocks behind him on the stage, and he makes jokes about like the friend that designed it and all that too. And each of them has symbolizes pretty much just like a subject matter that he's going to talk about, which is kind of a cool thing because it's essentially just doing stand up, but having a vision to like, oh, these are things I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
And this one, I heard him do an interview on it too. It's definitely funny. It feels like a hybrid of stand up comedy and a presentation. Like it's like a one man show sort of thing, which is kind of a cool thing of like because we see a lot of comedy and this is just a variation of it. This is a variation of like it's not just joke, joke, joke. He talks about things that are a little bit, it provokes a little bit of he talks about his trauma, and a bunch of different other things that aren't necessarily hilarious. He's okay with just doing a monologue where it's something serious and just insightful. And I think he's one of the more underrated minds of our generation. So it was really cool to see a new tape by Neil Brennan.
Yeah, I think that you're correct about him being underrated.
Yeah.
Because the credit that Chappelle deserves for the Chappelle show, he wouldn't have it without Neil Brennan. Like, dude is a beast. He's very smart. Like,
Yeah.
that's the one. He's very smart. Like, he can talk about anything, any topic. I love watching his interviews. Just for that reason. So I'm gonna watch it. I like Neil Brennan stuff. It's not just traditional, staying up there for an hour. You know what I mean? It's like it's just conceptual. So I definitely would like to check that out.
Let me know when you do. I'm curious what your thoughts on it are. And I want you to see if you could spot. He does some physical, one aspect of physical comedy in this one, which made me go, just like, because I remember thinking like, oh, that looks like it could have hurt. So I'm curious once you see it. Producer Pat, if you check it out as well, definitely let me know. For the people listening, let me know as well. I'm gonna have too many people messaging me about Neil Brennan special. It's like, guys, I'm overwhelmed. It is Tuesday. Please leave me be. Yeah, man, definitely check that out.
Yeah, I will. So my suggestion is, so like, I'm in love with Asian cuisine. Like,
oh, I know where that was gonna go. Okay. So you caught me slipping. All right.
I love going to Thailand. No, but so I said all I didn't say a lot, so I'm not gonna say I said all that to say. But yo, bobo tea. The bubble tea. You ever had bobo tea? Yo, that's my
just
jam,
like bro. I had it like 2 weeks ago.
Bro,
It was
like
nice.
the bobo like I like Asian food, but even the drinks are delicious. Like, bro, like I suggest it. I'm telling you, I haven't. They don't miss. The Asians don't miss.
Yeah, that's no, man. Yeah, that's so it has like the, I don't even know what you call those little bubbles at the,
oh no,
yeah, peas. I may be having like
boba. This is boba. I don't know.
What like they're like beans though. I don't know what they are.
They're
they
like,
are great though.
The texture of them are like,
it's like a soft marble.
I don't know.
It's like if you put a marble in a broiler. If you steam marbles, like, you get bobo tea.
They're like pickled marbles.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, I'm telling you can get. They got plenty of flavors. They got mad teas. They got mad fruit drinks. They got mad toppings you can put in it. Man, the bobo tea is where it's at, man.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what's your go-to? Like, what's your favorite flavor or type?
It ain't even like I haven't gone enough to have a go-to. So like I have like the boba with maybe like some strawberries or like a mango juice or whatever it is. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just so many varieties. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm telling you, man, the Asians, I bang with them. They don't miss when it comes to the food and stuff. So.
All right, yeah. That's what's up. That's if you want my recommendations for flavor. I went to the Museum Illusions. Shout out to Jackie. Jackie was there, and then we went to a bobo tea spot. And I never tried this before. Watermelon boba tea. I never thought of like mixing watermelon with milk before, but like you said, man, the Asians, they don't miss. So this was a success. It was delicious. Also, I was very dizzy from the museum afterwards, so this drink actually helped me a lot with that.
You got Asian cuisine and watermelon. You got me.
That's their marketing towards us.
It's being honest. I like watermelon, bro.
That's all. They once they saw me come in, they're like, "We know what he's gonna get."
Got the fried chicken boba today. All right, I'm done.
You're a wild guy for that one. You're a wild guy. We were all thinking it. You decided to say it.
I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I think that's a good way to end the show today. and
Yeah.
chicken, fried chicken boba.
That's why I'm at. Do you have any places you want to let the people know about?
Thursday, not Thursday, Black Friday. I'm being in Newark. Black
Oh shit, I
Friday.
forgot about all Black Friday. I forgot all about that. Shout to
Yeah.
televisions. Yo, don't stampede anyone. For anyone listening, no stampedes this Black Friday.
Stampede the comedy show. Come to the comedy show at Trip Hotel. Trip Hotel, Newark. And then
I hope pun is intended with that one. It's called Trip Hotel at a stampede. I just didn't want that to go over the people's heads. That's
I didn't even put it together. Yeah. No, but yeah, it's at Trip Hotel. Show up on your feet. And then December 3rd, I'm gonna be in Willingboro, New Jersey. I got like these New Jersey shows, you know what I'm saying, popping up. So like, yeah, I'm gonna be around. People will, follow us on Proper Ebonics if you don't want to see us post our schedules or anything. So yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think I'm
Definitely
through.
check that out. I no, you're still going. You were still there. You were not Bobo teed up. For myself, come to Turkey Jam. Don't listen to what I said about 20 minutes ago. It's gonna be a fun show. It's gonna be nice. Turkey Jam will be a fun one. Be at Fergie's Philadelphia off the leash on November 30th. I have like 3 shows in Reading in December. One
Really?
one by producer Pat. It's going to be, I believe, in a barbershop. And Lemaire and John Montag's going to be there along with Pat. So that's going to be a dope one. I believe that's on Pat. Correct me if I'm incorrect. I think it's December 16th. It's like on a Sunday. December 18th. Yes. So come get some pre-Christmas giggles. And Mickey's Black Box Theater on December 30th with David James. So that's gonna be nice. So it's gonna be wavy.
Fun.
Yeah, man. Thanks for listening, Alan. Enjoy the game. Hope you make it in time. I think you will.
I won't make it in time, so I'll watch the beginning of the game on my phone.
Okay. I'll be doing a virtual scavenger hunt. It's the last day, so I have to go find nail polish. It's a whole thing. But thank you for listening, and be well. See ya.
Peace.